Hello, everyone. Okay, so this is how the last night should have ended. Okay, the medieval scene was fine by itself. Okay, so after that, we get to the part where Optimus has buried the seed and he's on his way back to Earth. And there he's ambushed by the Infernicons and he makes short work of them. Then Quintessa shows up and mind rapes him to unconsciousness. Then he wakes up in chains and he's like, where are we? He's like, this is the ruins of Cybertron. This is what you've done. The humans have, destroyed everything. On Earth, it could have been different. You should have brought Cybertron to Earth. He's like, who are you? He's like, I am your creator, Quintessa. And so she guilt trips him, starts showing him images of the past of the war on Cybertron. Then he tells him Jazz died for nothing. Ironhide died for nothing. They slaughtered Ratchet. He's becoming emotional. Optimus starting to realize what he's done is wrong. He's saying, but he tries to tell her that humans are good. Like, it doesn't matter. They still don't trust the Autobots. And what if an incident like that happens again? What are they gonna do then? So she continues to mind rape him, and then after that, he asks him, does he seek redemption? He's like, yes. So then she slaps his face, he gets the purple eyes, and turns silver and black. There, he's Nemesis Prime. Back on Earth, the Autobots and Dinobots are fighting off the remaining KSI Decepticons. Barricade is fighting, but then he decides to retreat with Bumblebee on him. And Kate's behind the wheel because this is personal for Kate because Barricade killed Shine. And they get into a brief fight, but Barricade runs. They're still following behind him. Elsewhere, there's an earthquake, and Galvatron finds the little girl Izzy injured, and he's about to kill her, but he's somehow compelled to save her. So he saves her and nurses her back to health, and he realizes his body's been corrupted. And he remembers that his body was modeled after Optimus Prime. So the Optimus Prime version is trying to take over. And that's when he spots a Cybertronian ship. He makes his way to it, and that's when he first finds the Dying Knight, who gives him the talisman because he's Cybertronian, just like him. And he explains Quintessa, the creator, is looking for him. So then he scans the Dying Knight and the Cybertronian ship, and that's when he gets his new form. So Galvatron is now Megatron. And he hacks up the Cybertronium, and the Cybertronium starts to try and become Optimus and tries to get Megatron, but Megatron melts it with his flamethrower. So he returns, and Izzy, who thinking it's Galvatron, realizes Megatron. And she's like, where's Galvatron? He's like, Galvatron is dead. So he shoots at her, and she runs away. Then Barricade shows up, and Megatron explains that he's preparing a final assault, and he wants the remaining Decepticons to rally to him. So they wait a bit, but nobody shows up. So then he tells them about the talisman he learns from the Dying Knight that leads to the Staff of Ultimate Power. Little does he realize that Bumblebee has been recording it. So then the Dinobots and the Autobots, they all show up. Megatron's in his new form, and he manages to best all of them. But during the fighting, he loses the talisman, and Bumblebee runs away with it. So the Autobots retreat. The Decepticons try to fight over, but they chew fast. So back at the headquarters, the Linux, he's curious about the talisman. So is Joshua Joyce, and they realize that it's something medieval before their time. And Joshua Joyce explains that his cousin Vivian might know, since she's studies medieval times. So Bumblebee and Cade go to England, and that's where they meet Vivian and her guardian Hot Rod, who looks like his concept art, which is a Generation 1 concept art. And he explains that he travels the galaxy to do goodwill as an atonement for his brother's lockdown actions. And he came to Earth and was ambushed by he was ambushed by Decepticons and fought them off, and they tried to hold Vivian hostage, but he managed to stop it. And he's been with her ever since. So then she looks at the talisman and realizes that there's something beyond her, so perhaps Sir Edward Bertman can help her. So they go to him, who just returned from America visiting his granddaughter, Carly, his grandson-in-law, Sam, and his new great-grandson, Daniel. So he tells them that talisman was from Merlin, and only a person who's descended from Merlin can can use the talisman. And they also meet Cockman, who's a pretender. So they start researching, and then they find out about Stonehenge and make their way there. Meanwhile, elsewhere, the Decepticons are trying to find what happened to Cade and Bumblebee and the rest of the people. And then that's when they have a run-in with the Infernicons and Quintessa. And Quintessa pretty much forces Megatron to work for her, saying because she's the creator and they might need him, because he doesn't like this one bit. But he goes along with it. And he asks, what's the staff for? He's like, the staff is of ultimate power. It has enough power to destroy the Earth. So now he's really interested, but he doesn't want to destroy the Earth. He'd rather conquer it, because since Cybertron is no more, Earth is pretty much all they have. So he still wants to conquer the Earth. So then, at Beckett Nest headquarters, Optimus returns, and the rest of the Autobots are like curious what happened to him, because he has the silver and black body and the purple eyes, and he explained that's from being out in space, and he just he got caught in this energon thing in space. So yeah, he wondering they asked him where the talisman was, and they tell him that Bumblebee and Cade have it. So he goes after him, trying to say they're in grave danger. That's all he says, and the Autobots follow behind. They're curious to know about Optimus Prime's adventure, but no, he's more concerned about the talisman. So they just go along with it for right now. See, back at Stonehenge, they use it. They find out it's a teleportation device, and they teleport to the Knight's chamber. And then they find the little talisman key thing. Cade tries to open it, but he realizes he can't. So Edward Bertman tries, but he can't. Then Vivian tries, and it opens. And they realize that she's a descendant of Merlin. Her and Joshua, they're both descendants of Merlin. So then Optimus Prime, who's on his way, contacts Bumblebee, and they tell him the location. So he meets there, and they realize, the Optimus Prime looks different, but they still, he goes with his story. So they open the chamber. There's the staff, but the staff doesn't work. Optimus Prime can't lift it, so he's upset about it. He thinks that humans have tricked him, so they know something wrong with Prime now. They try to restrain him, but they can't. He's just too strong, and he tries to kill Cade and Vivian. Then that's when Bumblebee steps in with his hammer, the hammer he found, and they fight for like 10 minutes, and Bumblebee is defeated. And Optimus pretty much goes on this rampage across. He goes back to England and just rampages because he wants, just pretty much he's out of control now. So, and Quintessa, she just doesn't care at this point. I mean, she does, but she's wondering why staff didn't work. And she's just pondering. So Megatron decides to do, just go on his own for right now. And the president orders Lennox to find Megatron because they realize that they can't stop Optimus, and they realize the only person who can defeat him is Megatron. So they go to him, negotiate. Megatron doesn't want to help, but he decides to on the condition that they release certain associates of his, which are the Combaticons: Brawl, Swindle, Blastoff, Vortex, and Onslaught. So they do that. They provide military vehicles for them, Bross scans a M1 Bradley, Swindle scans a Humvee, Blastoff scans an F-35 Lightning II. Let's see, Vortex scans an Apache helicopter, and Onslaught scans an American missile launching vehicle. So yeah, they're the Combaticons, and them and Barricade set off to fight Optimus Prime. Megatron meets up with Optimus. He tells the Combaticons and Barricade to evacuate the civilians. So they do that, but they have their own way of doing it. Barricade like crashes into some cars, telling them to go the other way. Barricade just starts shooting at them, getting them the other way. Swindle starts stealing stuff. You know, they just pretty much do what Decepticons do. So Megatron and Optimus have a big fight, and they're just fighting, and then in the midst of the battle, Megatron says he's going to kill Optimus Prime because that wasn't a part of the deal. The deal was, you know, just to subdue Optimus. But no, he wants to do it, but he decides not to. And he's like, I've been waiting a long time for this. I would have waited an eternity for this. It's over, Prime. But he's not going to do it because he wants to kill Optimus when he's in his right mind. He wants to see him in his own eyes. So he says, we were brothers once. And that's when Optimus comes back to normal, and he calls, Megatron calls him Orion Pax, and then that's when he goes back to normal. And then Optimus calls him Megatronus once. So yeah, they're back to normal. And she starts telling him about the Staff of Power. So they head there, even though Megatron already knew about it. But yes, they go and repeat the same thing. Vivian uses the talisman to open the door, get to the Staff of Power. Optimus tries to use it, but he can't. Everybody tries it. Then Megatron, who's just mad at this point because he fears they're not trying hard enough, he gets it, and he realizes that he is the last knight. That only the last knight could have the Staff of Power. So yeah. So with Staff of Power, they head off, to confront Quintessa. And Quintessa shows up with an army of Infernicons. There's this big fight between the Decepticons, Autobots, Dinobots, and Nest forces. And in order to win, Quintessa tells her Infernicon commando group to transform and fuse into Infernicus. And then Megatron tells the Combaticons to combine into Bruticus. So the two fight, and Bruticus manages to beat Infernicus. In a last-ditch effort to win, Quintessa transforms into a three-headed dragon to kill everybody. Megatron and Optimus team up and they fight and beat her. Optimus wounds her. Megatron scores the death blow, but the Staff of Power is destroyed. So yeah, that's how that ends. And Megatron gives Optimus a nod. They pretty much know they're brothers for right now, but the next time they meet, they won't be friends. So they go off on their own. Cade and Vivian, they share a romantic moment. And then the post-credits scene, we find out that Quintessa's still alive, and that she's she got herself a human form, and she's contemplating what to do now since the Staff of Power is destroyed. And we see right after the Staff of Power is destroyed, these horns, emerge out of the ground. And she mutters the one-line Unicron. And that's how Transformers The Last Knight should have ended. Well, should have been.